In today's video, we're going to talk about how FastestVPN performs when it comes to streaming on platforms like Netflix, Disney+, BBC iPlayer, and more. What's up, you guys? My name's Ashley, and if you've been thinking about getting a VPN mainly to unlock content from different countries or just to make your streaming safer and more private, this video is going to break down everything you need to know about whether FastestVPN can handle the job. Streaming is one of the most common reasons people start using a VPN in the first place. Maybe you're traveling and want to keep up with shows from back home, or maybe you've heard that Netflix in another country has way more options than what you see where you live. A VPN can help you access those libraries, but not every VPN is consistent or reliable when it comes to getting around those blocks. So the big question is, can FastestVPN actually deliver on streaming, or is it just another budget service that struggles when it matters most? Let's get into it. What FastestVPN is. So first, let's cover the basics for anyone who hasn't heard of it. FastestVPN is a virtual private network provider that's been around for a few years. It definitely doesn't have the same level of brand recognition as ExpressVPN or NordVPN, but it's definitely building a name for itself with one of the cheapest lifetime plans on the market. For around $40, you can get lifetime access, which makes it one of the lowest cost VPN options you'll find anywhere. At its core, FastestVPN works the same way as any VPN. It encrypts your internet traffic, hides your IP address, and lets you connect through servers in different countries. That not only makes your browsing more private and secure, but also lets you bypass regional restrictions. For streaming, that means you can connect to a server in the US, the UK, or honestly wherever you want, and watch shows and movies as if you were physically there. Streaming as a main use case. Streaming is one of the biggest reasons people look at VPNs, and it's an area where performance can vary a lot. The truth is, companies like Netflix and Disney Plus are constantly working to block VPN traffic because of licensing agreements. That means not every VPN can reliably get you access. FastestVPN advertises streaming support as one of its main features, but how well does it actually work? The short answer is that it does support major platforms, but with some caveats. Let's walk through some of the most popular services and what you can realistically expect. Netflix is usually the first test people try with a VPN. It has some of the strongest VPN blocking systems in place, and not every provider can get around them. With FastestVPN, the results are mixed but promising. When you connect through FastestVPN to US servers, you can usually access the American Netflix library without issues. That alone makes it super valuable for people outside the US who want to watch shows that aren't available in their country. However, like most budget VPNs, you may need to try a couple of different servers before finding one that actually works consistently. Speeds are generally good enough for HD streaming, and if you're on a strong internet connection, to begin with, you can even watch in 4K. The main thing to keep in mind is that you might run into the occasional proxy error, which is Netflix's way of saying it detected you're using a VPN. In those cases, simply disconnecting and reconnecting to a new server usually solves the problem. So while ExpressVPN or NordVPN might be a little bit more consistent across the board, FastestVPN holds its own surprisingly well for Netflix considering the price point. Disney Plus is another popular platform people want to unlock, and FastestVPN does work here too. The US version of Disney Plus often gets shows and movies earlier than other regions, and with FastestVPN, you can access that catalog even if you're outside the States. During testing, Disney Plus worked on multiple US servers and played smoothly without constant buffering. The speeds were good enough for HD streaming, and while it isn't always as seamless as premium VPNs, it's definitely more than reliable for regular viewing. If you're a Marvel, Pixar, or Star Wars fan and you're looking for a budget VPN that can unlock Disney Plus, FastestVPN is definitely a viable choice. Again, you may need to switch servers occasionally, but the access is there. BBC iPlayer. So BBC iPlayer is a little trickier because it's specifically restricted to the UK, and it's well known for aggressively blocking VPN traffic. A lot of cheap VPNs fail completely when it comes to BBC iPlayer. FastestVPN, however, does manage to get access on some of its UK servers. The quality is not always consistent. Sometimes you'll log in and everything will work perfectly, and other times you may need to disconnect and try again. But the fact that FastestVPN can even access BBC iPlayer at all is a huge win compared to many other budget services that can't. If you want to watch British shows, live sports, or news broadcasts from the UK, FastestVPN does give you a way in, even if it takes a little trial and error. Other streaming platforms. Outside of Netflix, Disney Plus, and BBC iPlayer, FastestVPN can also unlock platforms like Hulu, HBO Max, and Amazon Prime Video. Hulu works particularly well with FastestVPN, which is a plus for people outside the US who want to access that library. Amazon Prime Video is a bit more hit or miss, but that's true of almost every VPN since Prime has strict licensing rules. The overall takeaway is that FastestVPN supports most of the major streaming services you're likely using. It's not always perfect, and you might need to try a couple of different servers to get it working, but for a very budget-friendly option, it performs way better than you would expect. Speeds for streaming. Of course, streaming isn't just about getting access, it's also about whether the video plays smoothly. FastestVPN holds up pretty well. It's definitely not as fast as Express or NordVPN, but for most people, it's more than good enough. On a solid internet connection, you can stream Netflix or Disney Plus in HD without buffering, and even 4K is possible if you're patient and have strong base speeds. Because FastestVPN supports the WireGuard protocol, it's able to deliver faster performance than older VPN technologies. One thing to keep in mind is that speed can vary depending on which server you connect to. If you're connecting to a server on the other side of the world, you'll probably notice a little slowdown. But if you pick a server that's closer to your location or just experiment to find the best one, you can usually get a really smooth streaming experience. Privacy and security while streaming. Privacy might not be the first thing on your mind when you're trying to watch a show, but it's actually one of the most important benefits of using a VPN. Streaming platforms collect a huge amount of data about what you watch, when you watch it, and even what devices you use. FastestVPN helps protect that information by encrypting your connection and hiding your real IP address. This means you're not only bypassing geo restrictions, but also keeping your activity private from your internet provider and from companies that might try to use that data for advertising. FastestVPN also comes with built-in malware protection and an ad blocker, which is just a nice bonus. That way, you're not just getting access to more content, but you're also protecting yourself while you stream. Now, let's talk about the cost and how to get signed up. So if you want to check it out and follow along, use our exclusive link down in the description below. Once you click that link, as you can see, you can save 93%, and it's a $40 lifetime. Yes, lifetime one-time payment, which is insane. I have not come across another VPN that has a lifetime one-time payment. So again, it's $40, and they also have a 31-day money-back guarantee, which is also huge. So if you pay the $40, you're not loving it as much as you thought you would, you can get your money back within that 31 days. So with FastestVPN, you get a WireGuard protocol, password manager, 10 multi-login, P2P optimized, no logs, and then like we've talked about, you can stream Netflix, Disney Plus, BBC iPlayer, Hotstar, Amazon Prime videos. So to get signed up, all you have to do is enter in your email address. You can add more logins, and it's just $4 per login. So, if you wanted to add 5 more, that would be $20. Obviously, this is optional. If 10 is enough, then that's perfect. If you also want to add a dedicated IP, it's $1.49 per month, and you can go ahead and choose the location. And then also, if you want to add port forwarding, it's $1.20 per month. All you'll do is add your payment method, and you can go ahead and get started. If you want to check out even more details, like each of their servers in 49 countries and 100 plus locations, you can again check it out. But again, if you want to access 93% off and a $40 one-time payment, make sure you use our exclusive link down below. So before we wrap up, let's quickly talk about the pros and cons, because I think it's really important to see both sides. Starting off with the pros, there are a ton of positives about using FastestVPN for streaming. The biggest one is obviously the price. A lifetime plan for $40 is almost unheard of in the VPN space. On top of that, it does actually work with major platforms like Netflix, Disney Plus, Hulu, and even BBC iPlayer, which is something many budget VPNs fail to deliver. Speeds are solid enough for HD streaming, and the built-in ad blocker and malware protection add some extra value there as well. But of course, there are some drawbacks that you should know about before investing. The server network is much smaller than what you get with providers like Express or NordVPN. That means fewer options if you're trying to connect to more obscure regions. Streaming can sometimes require a bit of trial and error where you disconnect and reconnect until you find a server that works. And while speeds are good enough for most people, they're not quite at the level of the premium providers, especially if you're on a weaker internet connection to begin with. And finally, because this is a lifetime plan, there's always a small risk that the company could change its policies or business model in the future. That doesn't mean it will, but it's just something to keep in mind when you buy a service with a a lifetime promise. So, should you choose FastestVPN for streaming? The answer is it depends on what you value most. If you want the absolute fastest speeds and the most consistent access and a huge server network, you're probably going to lean more towards something like Express or NordVPN. But if your top priorities are saving money and unlocking the most popular platforms like Netflix, Disney Plus, and BBC iPlayer, then FastestVPN is a really solid choice. The fact that it works with so many services at such a low cost makes it one of the best budget options available right now for streaming. If you already have another VPN, it might be worth grabbing the FastestVPN lifetime plan just to have as a backup, especially if you run into issues with your main provider. At the end of the day, the performance you get with the price is really hard to beat. For $40, you're set for life and you can stream from around the world without paying an ongoing subscription fees. So again, if you want to check out FastestVPN and get $40 lifetime guaranteed, use our exclusive link down in the description below. I do want to mention that these are affiliate links, which means we may earn a small commission at no extra cost to you. So if you do choose to use our links, we just want to thank you so much in advance for supporting our channel. It really helps us to continue to create free content just like this. I know choosing a VPN can feel overwhelming, especially when you're trying to figure out which one actually works for streaming. And the truth is, not every VPN can get around those blocks, and even the best ones sometimes fail. But FastestVPN really does offer a great combination of affordability and functionality that's really hard to beat. If you want a budget-friendly way to unlock Netflix, Disney Plus, and more, it's definitely worth considering. That wraps up this video. This channel is dedicated to helping you find the best tools for online privacy, streaming, and security. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and leave any comments or questions below. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.